He just told me that I look grouse. Look grouse.
I
I
know
don't
you
think
look grouse.
I've ever
Uh,
been told I look grouse.
you haven't been told you look grouse in years,
That's
have
so
you? You look
Australian.
grouse because,
That's
like,
great. I love it.
I love how we always open this up with a bit of a giggle, and I don't. It's not even intentional, right? So that's
No,
like
I
it's
know.
just what happens. It's organic. And I literally just sharing with Lisa, I'm having a conversation. I said, like she looks grouse because she's moved from Sydney up to the Sunshine Coast and getting a bit more sun, getting out in the ocean. It's
Yeah.
bloody awesome. You're
Yeah.
loving it up there, yeah?
Fantastic. It's the trees. It's like just being in nature, like being able to drive up the road to a waterfall. It's sitting in this like pristine rainforest and just like, so good. My body just loves it. So you can
Mm.
feel yourself regulating, like I can feel my heart and everything just going, whoa. It's just so good.
So you moved from Sydney up to the Sunshine Coast, and we're off track already. Like I had other things
Mm,
to start with, but we're off track already, and that's fine.
mm,
But just changing your environment, like I know with Gavin Top, who's currently my personal coach. Um, last week we focused on environment and the things in our environment, how much they affect us.
mm.
That moving from Sydney up to the Sunshine Coast and going into like a bit more natural landscape, what's that done for you?
Mm. I actually don't think that's too much off topic because it's compassion for self, right? And
Aha.
often we put compassion for self behind what we need to do for others and, making sure that they're okay. But for me, it was like my mum and my older daughter were pretty upset that I left actually. But I just knew I had to get out of the city. It was like I'd been there for a long time. Like it was, well, 6 years. It was a long time for me. Even though I grew up there, I'd moved back there and I just could feel that I needed to go. And I sometimes I don't even realize why I do things. I just do things. I am a bit of a risk taker, so that makes it a bit easier for me because I just go, what the heck. So but when I got here, I realized how much it's meant to my whole being. Like even just where I live now, it's like all these things happen to conspire to get me to live right here. And I walk around this place and there's so many trees. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need right now for my mental and my emotional health, for my business to be able to flourish, for me to be able to feel in harmony. It's just like you don't realize sometimes until you make the move how much the old environment really impacted you. And I've actually experienced that quite a few times in my life. I never thought it was that bad when I was in it, but
Yeah.
after moving, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how did I actually survive in that? Like, how did I do what I did in that?" So, yeah, definitely compassion
Well,
for self.
yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, I had no intention of going into compassion for self. I was going to talk about compassion in general, but to start off with compassion for self, it's something that's so important. Understanding your environment and how much that does affect you, or how much that gives you energy, and how much that supports you to do the things you want to do is so important. Like at the moment for me, and I'll just refer back to Gav Top for a minute because the environment was the really big blinding flash of the obvious with a lot of things recently because like I'm I'm changing the world, right? So I'm having a red hot crack. So who are the people in my corner? Who's in my corner seeing the things that I don't see? Who's in my life that I love them with all my heart. Compassion for myself. I have to say, listen, I love you, but I've got to put some space between us
Mm,
because unfortunately that it's not healthy for me right now, and I've got to deal with X, Y, Z. And
mm,
that's compassion for self, right? But it's
mm,
also compassion for other people, because when you grow and you take the opportunity of taking an adventure, learning new things, you grow, and you're actually doing everybody in your life a favor
mm.
because you're giving them an opportunity to see a different version of you. So then we can have a discussion. And then when we have a discussion, we can come from compassion to understand. Curiosity will take you into that. And that's, like one of the things for me I just love with all my heart. Shorty and I, we sit here all the time. Curiosity is such a big part of the way in which we work. Shorty will stop. What did that mean for you?
Mm.
Ask that extra question. And that's compassion and curiosity in a bundle. And
Yep.
so, but I do want to dive into that a little bit further, but I'm going to go back a little bit because it is What's Up Wednesday for the Business of Smiles. And
Mm.
I've got to say, like, I am so excited right now, Lisa. You know, like, one, I get to talk to you again, which is always awesome. I love spending time with you. But but tomorrow night, I've got an extraordinary event.
Oh, it's
I, I've
amazing.
I've got the first Smiles for Life, and then
Yep.
next Thursday we start our Smiles for Life online edition, which we haven't even announced properly yet. But that's at least is going to be involved in that with us, and that's going to be phenomenal. But tomorrow night, with just 2 posts on the Frankston notice board, I have 60 men coming together to have a meal together, to learn one another and be around each other with compassion and curiosity. We're going to sit and listen and learn our community. And the thing that I love about it the most is I actually, do you know what? I'm going to share it with you because is anyone going to be watching? Who cares? Actually, I'll wait for next week then. I'll wait for next week because it's yeah.
But tell me, I want to know, like, I'm curious.
Mm.
I want to know your journey, like the trajectory, where you started and what got you to this night tomorrow night with 60 men, which is like first of all, it just affirms what an incredible human you are to actually get these many people to commit and to be there. But also, it sort of says something about the need for connection around men, right?
Mm. And that's the thing that has been overwhelming for me is the support from the women.
Mm.
Like it's at a point where the women of my community have seen their men struggle. They're tired of the suicide rates. They're tired of, seeing their men in pain.
Yeah.
But they don't exactly know how to express that properly as yet. And then, like it's a whole new thing because we've just had this opportunity called COVID, which has brought out all these new emotions, and we've got to learn what they are. And we've got to try and figure out how we're feeling. And like anything, when we learn to walk, we fall over a lot. So right now, there's a lot of things going on. And it's even, I'm going to go sideways and come back. The
Okay.
divorce rates are going through the roof, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of COVID. So what that is actually doing, it's not just putting pressure on families, it's putting pressure on rentals,
Mm.
right? It's
Mm.
putting pressure on housing like no tomorrow. It's putting pressure on services because we just don't have an adequate way to deal with this at the moment. Pain, 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 pain. And for me personally, one of the things that I've worked with many suicidal men over the years, and I'm really good at it, but I'm really tired of it. And
Mm.
I see that the key to what's happening here, why it's being embraced so much, they're non-alcohol events. They're 2 hours. We're in and out. We're just spending
Mm.
time with good people, having good quality conversations, learning our community. Like I'm so excited because I'm pretty sure I've secured the first event, which is literally the street art walk in Frankston. You're going to have 60 men or more walking the streets of Frankston, learning our community, being involved in our community.
Mm.
Because if we want to change things, we need to be the change. We need to not ask for others to change. We need to be it ourselves. So this is the thing that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud that 60 men chose to be the difference,
Mm.
chose to step into something that they've never been to before because they value their community. There's good men in our
Mm.
communities. There really is. And they're just putting their hand up saying, listen, I don't exactly know what's going on. I hear you're doing dinner. I'm coming along. I'm going to go suss this out. And I'm like, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of it, my community for turning around, grabbing that, and we're going to get curious about our community. We're going to learn about our community. I spoke to the council today and said, listen, I've got this going on and this going on. I said, well, what I want to do is I really want to embrace our community. What things don't I know about in my community? Help me
Mm.
learn the community so we can walk it together. And I'm just
Mm.
like, wow, how cool is that? So, yeah, so that's that's that part. But like, and I'm going to go back to the question, what brought me to this point, right? What brought me to the point that this is important? What brought me to the point in my life that said, I need to do this because this is important? What brought me to that point is the people I spend time with. I see so much projected pain. I see so many people that are carrying these huge burdens and they haven't been told that it's okay. They haven't been told that, you know what, where you are right now, it's okay. I appreciate you just being here. If you want to talk about it, I'm here. If you want to open up this box, I'm here. When you're ready, we don't have to push through anything. Why is that important to me? Because there's been times in my life where I've been a handful because I didn't have a safe place to be and actually just be around positive role models, positive male influences. They're so important, you know, like and you flicker through Frank's notice board, right? Every third or fourth post is a massive negative. It's a massive problem. Not enough positivity in it, you know. So I'm really focusing on doing positive things. Like I'm so excited, Lisa. We secured like a caravan style trailer that's got a full barbecue kit out in it. It's from an old
Wow.
Lions Club scenario. So
Yeah.
we're going to fill it with chairs and tables. We're going to get it all sign written. So twice a month, that van will be out in the community, supporting the men of the community, having a bite to eat, doing something fun in the community. You know, like I just compassion from my community, because we all live there.
Yeah.
You know, the policeman, the fireman, the teacher, the student, the children, the kindergarten teacher, we've got the gardener, we've got the drug addicts, we've got the drug dealers, we've got the you know, the guy who fixes your shoes, the locksmith, you've got people who work at the supermarket, people who work in the bank. We all live in one community. We all live there together. Imagine what it'd be like if we supported each other. Imagine what it would be like if we had a little bit of compassion, and on that day that you know that someone's dealing with something, no worries. Thank you, because I know you're doing your best right now. Beautiful place to live. Maybe I live through rose-colored glasses because I wear this big smiley everywhere. People smile back at me. You know, like I can actually feel it when I don't wear that shirt. I can actually feel that people don't engage with me the way in which I do when I wear the shirt.
Yeah.
No,
I'd say you'd be pretty highly recognizable by now, wouldn't you?
I might be noticed occasionally.
I'd say so.
Yeah, but I love it. Like I love my community. I just love it. You know, like it. And one of the things that's been beautiful is the fact that politics has been put aside with this. You know, like there's Darren Bergworth from one political party. There's the guys from the Freedom Party. There's Peter Murphy from Labor, and it's all put aside. It's our community. We all live here, so it's about doing that for one another, which for me is just beautiful. You know,
It's a common humanity. Yeah.
Right. What's the commonality? Yeah. What's the commonalities? The commonalities is the humanness. We're all human. You know, and if we go back to that, we peel it back. Like, actually, it was it's awesome that you're on tonight, because you actually gave me the meditation, the 6. Oh, hang on a sec. Where is it? I'll even post it on up after this, because the 6-phase meditation with what is it? I think it's just one of the best things since sliced bread, Lisa.
Good.
So
I can't even remember which one it was.
I know you will as soon as I grab it, because I'm actually going to look it up tonight, because it's that valuable. 6-phase guided meditation by Vishen Lakhiani, which is the I'll post it up from Mind Valley, but this one in particular starts at the 23-minute mark, because it's going into compassion. It takes you on a journey of love for yourself, love for the room, love for your street, love for your bigger city, love for your country, and then love for the world. and then connect to the trees and the animals. And like, it's such a beautiful way to start the day, to think that, we're all one, we're all doing things together, you know?
Yes, we are. We're all part of the one thing. What I
Yeah.
love about what you're doing is you're giving men this opportunity to get to know themselves a little bit more in each other. And I personally like, because I work with a lot of women and women who really try hard to support their men emotionally, but find that their men just can't talk to them about stuff. And for women, it's like, I just want to talk about this. It's not even about the thing that's happening. It's about the fact that we can't talk about this. And what I hear is that a lot of women really want to work on their relationship, but they can't go anywhere if the man can't talk and can't come on board and begin to feel okay about his feelings and who he is. And so, what I see you doing is so good, because there's not been a lot of education around for men to learn some of those skills, And if you're with other men and you're just being with other men and you're connecting and you're having the opportunity to share stuff, like, I think that's so healthy. Look, I'm only speaking from a woman's perspective, but I sort of wonder sometimes if men actually don't know how to communicate, or they haven't been taught. Like, it's really hard for men to do shit like that because they've got to be responsible, they've got to hold everything together. Women are the ones that maybe are the ones that are like, I don't know. Like, but I just think it's such a great opportunity. I really do.
I'm gonna grab. I sort of want to keep a little bit in the bag for tomorrow night, because there's a few guys that might watch this, and I don't want to ruin it.
Don't
But that's
don't let any secrets
actually,
out. I love
yeah,
surprises, right? Don't wreck the
yeah.
surprises.
Well, it's I'm like, I'm not gonna. We're gonna come in. We're gonna have some fun, right? But we're also gonna sit down and challenge each other, because that's the growth part. But we do it in a loving and compassionate way, with curiosity, which is just phenomenal that this
Yeah,
is our conversation,
yeah.
right? Because I I believe men can talk. I believe that men, um, given the right space, talk very well. I think we need to practice it,
Mm. Oh,
and
I
I
think
think,
everybody does, right?
yeah, but I think there's also the opportunity that a lot of men feel like women speak at us.
Mm.
Like, it's because, and picking the time of day when to have that conversation. Like, if you've been thinking about something all day, guys have been working all day, they don't have the capacity to have that conversation at night. It's really hard.
Mm.
So even just writing a note and just going, hey, listen, this is something I need to talk about. Can we book in a time? Okay, cool. No worries. I noticed that you're late. Lately, you're quite tired at night. Do you want to have a chat on Saturday morning about this? Okay, cool. Give us the opportunity to prepare our brains for it, because
Mm.
we're not. I find men in general, we're really good at focusing on one thing. We're really good at it. We're great at it.
Mm.
But when we've got a couple of things and things come at us, just bang. Oh, hang on. I didn't see that coming. Clearly, you've been bottling that up for a while.
Mm.
Can you just give me a little bit of time to process that one for me, instead of, like, put me on the spot? How long have you been thinking about that? Like, and you're wanting me to have an answer right now?
But it's so funny because women are so much like, I just want to resolve this. Like, we don't even have to talk about the thing. We just need to talk. Like, just talk. I just want to come to some sort of resolution. So it's so interesting, because I think that's the sign of, like, something that I've learned anyway, is to really get in touch with what's going on for me, and then go, well, I can actually see where that person is and when's going to be a good time and when not to speak, and sometimes not to speak at all because it's actually my stuff, you know? But like, took me a long time to figure that out. Like, a long time, two relationships, and a lot of shit.
But that's half of it, right? Because practice makes what?
Well, I'm not going to say perfect because I still don't think that there's perfection.
No, it doesn't.
Makes you pretty darn good. That makes you emotionally mature. Practice makes you emotionally mature. There you go.
I was taught by a 7-year-old boy. Practice makes progress. I said to him,
Yes.
practice makes perfect, mate. He goes, no, it doesn't, Dad. Practice makes
Yeah.
progress. And I went, What? Where did you learn that? And I take that on. I've taken on this
Yeah.
beautiful advice from this beautiful young boy that educated me on practice makes perfect. Like tomorrow night, right? It's my first one. And I will muck it up. And I will muck it up really well, and I'll enjoy it because I know I'm one step closer to making it better. I'm making it one step closer. Oh, I like that, Adrian Todd. I do like that one. So practice makes it
Mm.
possible. Absolutely, it
Yeah, I
does. I
like
love
that
that.
too. That's good.
Great. I love that one. So, and that's part of the journey, right? Like we practice things, and that's compassion. Right? I'm going to take it back to compassion and curiosity, right? Because a compassionate lets people fail and understands they're having a crack. Compassionate person just goes, what were you trying to do there? And you bring curiosity in to become compassionate.
Mm.
Understanding, seek to understand before we project. I think it's such a beautiful thing.
Mm.
Was that the Stephen Covey 7 Habits of Highly Successful People secret number 5? I think it's the number one thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, but great conversation. Like we're, I'm loving it, you know. But I'm going to grab something. And this is why I love you, because we have great conversations and time flies when they're so in depth. And this is the thing that I love most about this is we didn't come in here with preparation notes going, we're just talking about it
Mm.
openly with curiosity so we can learn more about each other. So then that's where we find the compassion and the care and understanding. Lisa and I have been doing these conversations, you know, over various platforms for the last 4 years. And it's just been an understanding and curious and asking each other better quality questions. And so then we live in each other's hearts. Like we care genuinely about each other with compassion
Mm.
because we've been curious about each other without fear of asking a wrong question. It's asking a question of, okay, so how did that work? What did it turn out? Have you tried this? Okay, well, let's do this and this, and then all of a sudden we've got this beautiful relationship. So it's just very timely that you're on here tonight.
Mm. And I
But I'm,
think, can I just say something there? Because I
Mhm.
think that the development of that compassion and curiosity between us, and that has all come about as being fostered by emotional safety, which not only does it foster compassion and curiosity, but compassion and curiosity fosters emotional safety because you feel safe to be yourself because you can feel the compassion of the other person. The more emotionally safe I feel, the more compassionate and curious I can be about where you're at, right? So, and emotional safety is just like the thing that you just cannot often find in the world out there. And it's the thing that I think just we all need to grow.
and I love that because this is your wheelhouse, right?
Mm.
So it's no different to what I do inside a safe place to land. Safe place to land is to investigate exactly like you do. You and I are both very much. How does that feel? Where do you feel it? What's that bringing up for you? Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into this. You know, how did that happen? So we're asking better quality questions at the right time to create the emotional safety, and that's emotional safety. We've probably got a whole nother panel on on that one.
Mm.
But I do. Firstly, I want to honor that because I think that's a very important part of of your environment. To be honest, where are you safe enough to practice these conversations?
Mm.
Where is the
Right.
places that you can actually sit down and be vulnerable? Because unfortunately, like we love all our families, we love those people, so they care about us too. So they often come back at you when they see the mistake and their fear comes out. "Oh, I don't want to see him do that, and it's fear
Mm.
rather than come. Oh, okay, cool. Let us know more. Okay, how did that work out? Okay, cool. But if you practice those conversations in an emotionally safe place, when you go and have those conversations, you can come in with more compassion and curiosity about it because you're not carrying the emotional weight of the conversation. Practicing a conversation is one of the most beautiful things to be compassionate for yourself and for those that you love. because it's always the people that hurt us most are the ones we love because we care more.
Mm.
So we need to be a little bit more careful on how we have those conversations and
Mm.
choose those times. Be curious as to when you can.
Curious is good, isn't it?
Mm.
Curious, I think curious is the thing that often stops people from reacting. Like if you have something to say to somebody or something's really agitating you, it works so much better when you come from a position of, can you help me understand why that's happening like that? And get really curious about that because they're not defensive and you've opened up a space to be able to hear from them and they become more open to how you feel about a certain situation too. So I think curiosity is like a gem, especially in relationships and with kids.
That is the key to my fathering skills right there.
Mm,
Curiosity.
mm,
Like there's no wrong. It's about,
mm,
okay, so how did that happen? Okay, well, that happened. Okay, so what's the consequences and outcomes for that? Okay, cool. Are you happy with those outcomes? Yes, that's awesome. I could have done that better. Okay, well, what could have you done better? Because if you knew you could have done better, you would have done it. So let's find a way to do it.
yeah.
So I understand that it's a process to go through.
Mm.
So yeah,
And
I
also
love it. And
you're giving authority to the person, right? So if you're talking about kids, you're giving authority to the child to be able to make a decision and work things out. And I know, like as a parent, that can sometimes be a bit challenging because we tend to jump in and try to give solutions and advice and fix and it's just like that's a bit of a parent thing, right? So I think curiosity is a really nice little you fast track or shortcut to be able to help our child find more agency in their own lives without having to think about it too much. You've just got to ask questions.
yeah, yeah. And for me, there's 6 keys to parenting. Curiosity is number 1. Right? Curious about yourself and how you project yourself is understanding you in order to understand how you represent yourself. That's such a big part of that. We're not here to talk about that, but we are talking about curiosity. But I do.
We're not
Like
talking
it's
about
all.
that curiosity, but what
Yeah.
curiosity are we talking about then?
Yeah, but it's no, we are talking. That is exactly on point. But I do want to grab something, right? Because
Yes, okay.
we're already at 28 minutes.
Okay, have we got a
I
deadline?
know, right?
Half an
And
hour. Right,
this
okay.
is
Stop talking,
this
Scott, and get straight to the point. Come on.
so let's talk now. You were having a conversation. You asked somebody very important to you a question.
Mm,
What was the answer? Well, explain the scenario first.
mhm,
Do you want me to go there, Aria? You ask Aria,
mm,
what is
mm.
compassion?
Oh, I said to
Yeah, sorry,
Aria,
off air talk.
yeah, this is my 16-year-old daughter. I said to her, so
Mm.
what do you think curiosity is? And she goes, oh, that's being nosy. And I'm like, actually, the more nosy out that we get about why each of us does what we do, probably the better. I mean, she did correct herself after that, but I thought, yeah, let's get nosy about why we do what we do.
I
I think
agree.
that's pretty cool.
It is, isn't it? Like because at the
Mm,
end of the day, it's right in front of you, and you get the opportunity to learn.
mm. And we
So
don't. What this is
yeah,
what happens in relationship, isn't it? We sort of get used to each other, and we think we know the person, so we have a concept of that person in our mind. It's very hard for them to turn up differently, by the way, if we have that concept. So if we start to think, let's just be the nosy partner, and why did they turn up like that? Or I wonder why they're doing that today, or why did they say that? Like, yeah, I never sort of thought I wanted to be nosy, but now I might reassess that.
oh, it's good, isn't it? Like, but isn't this the opportunity of curiosity, right? Okay, so that was brought up. What has that got any validity for me?
Mm,
You know, so I think it's something for me that I often say it that every single person I've ever met has added value to my life. Every single person, even the ones that teach me what I don't want to do,
mm,
add value to my life. because I then don't want to do it because I've seen the repercussions of what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But understand what the repercussions are. Get nosy. Understand. Okay. So what happened because of that? How did that happen? Dig deeper. Find out what the circumstances are that made that situation happen. You'll be able to avoid that situation.
Mm.
You know? And I just, yeah. So I'm pointing with the pencil. I just saw that.
No, I was
I'm
listening to that on the Dow. I was listening to the Dow the other day, and it was saying
yeah.
that the sage, what was it? Something like the sage prevents the challenges, so he doesn't have any challenges. And I think that's what I've noticed in my progress as a human being, is that the more I get curious about myself and understand myself, the more I can see things coming, and I actually take action as soon as something like activates me, or as soon as I feel something's going on, I walk straight into it straight away. And so those things never get to be really massive challenges. And I think that that's exactly what you're saying. Get curious, because when you understand, you can prevent so much. You prevent the big blow ups. If you're talking about, I wonder why they're a bit surly tonight. I wonder if something went down at work. I wonder, if you're asking questions, then 5 hours later, you're not going to cop a partner that's abusing you because they've had all this stewed emotion that they haven't actually had a chance to share. So I think curiosity is actually pretty massive.
Oh, it really is. I learnt that while traveling. Like I left here as a big fish in a little pond. Got overseas, I was a very small fish in a very big pond. And the only way I got to learn things was to be curious.
Mm,
I quickly realized that I needed to not hang out with Aussies and I needed to hang out with the locals in order to understand how things go.
mm,
Like it was such a beautiful experience being curious. You get to learn so much more, and you're actually learning about you. And I
mm,
think that's the one thing for me in all of this, taking responsibility for curiosity actually helps you grow, which makes your relationships with the people around you so much better.
mm.
You know, so. Hmm. Mate, we're at 33 minutes, and these only go for half an hour. But we could just
Okay,
sit
stop
here.
talking.
I know, right? But listen. There's people watching at the moment. I'd love your opinion. I'd love to know where this is at. I really appreciate, unless it was that engaging that you couldn't
Make a
couldn't
comment.
type because you're listening to it. But
Mm,
I I hope you watched it, and I don't have another word. Other than this at the moment, maybe you can pick something better. But the chemistry between you and I, right? It's not. It's a genuine compassion and care that we have for each other of just good mates, like. But it's all come about from curiosity, and this is a relationship that thrives in friendship because of that.
mm,
If we have this in our friendships, we can take it into our lovers. We can take it to the family homes, and I think that's a beautiful place. I really do. You know,
yeah,
I
I agree.
yeah, especially yeah. Well, I'm just trickling off after thinking about other conversations at the moment. Like I'm just so proud of so many things that are going on at the moment, and this is one of them because having conversations like this is really important. You know, having experiences that teach us how to feel is really important. Letting
Mm.
people know that we can have these conversations is super important.
And that there are places where you don't have to feel afraid, like
Mm.
where there's no fear. There's just curiosity and compassion.
You can't be in fear if you're curious. The fear is just something
Exactly
you don't
right.
understand. Once you understand something, you don't fear it because you know how it's going to play out. So once you understand it, you can choose to avoid it.
Mm,
And that's where the fear is no longer there. Well, you know what? I've experienced this. I understand that now. That's what's got me into this position. If I don't do this, then I don't end up there.
yeah.
You know? So yeah,
Very
so many
powerful.
powerful things. Oh, isn't there? Like so many powerful things. So I I'm really looking forward to something we're doing, Lisa. I'm looking forward to having you as part of the team. We'll announce that very soon. It's going to be very special. And if you've if you've liked hearing from Lisa today, check her out. Check out what she does.
Check me
S-
out.
Yeah, stalker, stalker,
Come
because
a stalking.
but
Send
it's
me a
worth it,
message.
right?
Yeah, don't do it in obscurity.
Yeah. But the reality is there's so many conversations you've had. Like if you're looking for direction, if you're looking for something that I just need something right now, check out the Campfire Project. Go through the Campfire Project. Check out all the conversations. Check out the conversations Lisa and I have had in there. Check out Lisa's stuff. If you've got a topic that you want to talk about, does size matter? Does penis size? We sat and had that conversation, Lisa. How long ago?
Oh, I
3
don't
years
know.
ago, roughly.
That was
Yeah,
high up
sitting
there
there.
on our list of great conversations, that one.
But it was beautiful because
It was
you can
very
talk about anything
yeah.
if you come from curiosity and compassion. I mean, what a way to finish up right now. We're
Yep.
talking about curiosity and compassion. And here we are, a man talking with 5 women about penis size because I didn't know. And I stumbled at the first hurdle, but because the women had compassion for me, you guided me through it. We got through it. There was no fear.
You threw yourself in though. Like most people like warm up to the
No.
big questions, but not Scott. Scott was just like I was just like go Scott.
But but here's the other thing, right? I knew I was safe.
Yeah.
That
True.
was the big difference. I knew I was safe to have that conversation because I had women who I sat with and I'd been able to support and grow with. Yeah. So that made it safe. I was in a safe place. And that's exactly why we do what we do, Lisa. We create safe places to explore these avenues so that we don't carry the emotional weight and dump that on other people. Because that, for both of us, has been a pain in both of our lives where people have carried it, not processed it, and haven't had a safe place or haven't felt safe enough to discuss them. And it's caused pain in both of our lives, So life has gifted us this opportunity to learn with curiosity, and now we live the compassionate, curious life. And I tell you what, I like it.
Me too. Much better way to live.
Isn't it? So on that note, I'm going to ask you a question tonight. If you had just one bit of advice to give somebody, just in general, just life in general, right? One bit of wisdom, what would you part on?
I would say get curious about you rather than looking out and trying to figure out how to get more or how to fix that, or just turn it around, turn everything around and come back in and get curious about you. Why are you doing this? Why is this your partner? Why are you here? Why are you feeling this? What are you feeling? That curiosity has served me so well. And I think it's very tied to compassion for myself because I'm actually being with me. Like I can be more me because I actually am curious about me. So I think that's, for me, that's pretty big in the whole scheme of things.
Oh, I love it. And it's completely on topic, which is even better. So no, just love it. But it's so true, right? Curiosity, just on yourself, learn you. So, all right, smilers, campers, LinkedIn unicorns, and amazing human beings. Thank you so much for being here. And Lisa, honestly, I've loved spending time with you again. It's
Yeah,
really
thanks, Scott.
beautiful.
You
And I
too.
love,
I always
I
enjoy
love
our
the,
conversations.
yeah, same,
They're great.
well,
Never
we
know where
speak
they're going to
often.
go.
I think that's the beauty of it.
It
But
is.
I would love from people some topics. Like Shorty and I are here to discuss anything, right? The more topics you give us, the more fuel we got. Next week, we're going to talk about relationships. Sorry, Shorty's not here. Oh, I'm not actually sorry because I'm actually wrapped you here, Lisa, because I think it was a perfect topic for you and I. But next week, Shorty and I are going to talk about relationships just from a male's perspective and what we can do to improve them. I need work on mine. Yeah. So it's not something that I shy away from in the aspect that, I don't have things perfect. I have things in progress and it's going to take time. The only thing I can do is make progress, practice things, see how I go. So, from my heart to yours, Lisa, thank you so much for being a
Thank
part of
you.
this. To anybody watching this, thank you so much. Let us know what it's meant to you. Let us know what you've taken away from it. Give us some feedback, because that helps us, and it also helps us create stuff for you. Because I mean, I can sit here and talk all night, but I think it's best if we have a point and we open up discussions that are relevant right now. So yeah. All right.
Great. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for the invite. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Now take care. Now, Lisa, do you know where the
Yes.
bloody button is on this thing? Because I'm buggered if I do. Where's the bloody button?